The two most untrusted people right now in this country are politicians and the media.
Mm-hmm. For good reason, because both have been lying
100%.
for a long time.
Dana White, the guy who runs the UFC, we highlighted a video of his the other day where he was sparring with Canadian journalists, right? Did you see that? If not, check it out. Just go to our video page and you'll see it. It's fantastic. Well, he and Vivek Ramaswamy sat down for a conversation on a podcast, and there's some really good stuff here about cancel culture. You need to see it.
They used to have that culture of victimhood under Mao and otherwise. That's actually come back here to hold us down. And so I think that is a phase we're in. That's the way I'd like to look at it.
Could not agree with you more.
I hope it's just a phase. I think it's just a phase.
More people like us need to stand up and talk about this, because there's a lot of people that feel that way. But for some reason, this whole cancel culture and all the other bullshit that's flying around right now, where if you say anything that anybody doesn't like, they're coming after you. You know what I mean?
Shut up, sit down, do as you're told.
100%.
For some reason, Dana White, it's a very simple reason. People are terrified to lose their jobs. Not everybody's a multimillionaire, okay? For some reason, the reason is that people are terrified to be canceled, because canceled, there's another word for canceled. Fired, removed from society, unable to make a living, unable to keep a roof over your head and your children's head. Stop with the, for some reason, people are afraid to speak out. No, listen, I'm happy that there are people who are willing to speak out, that don't have that fear, who have, well, what we like to call FU money. But what we need is those people who have the FU money, who can actually speak out, who can actually get something accomplished by pushing back against cancel culture. What we need is for them to enact laws to protect the rest of us. Dana White. But the rest of this conversation is incredibly important, because they're pointing out the fact that the pendulum has swung, that they see momentum moving in the other direction, canceling the cancel culture.
I feel like it's the beginnings of that changing a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
Oh, yeah.
It's the beginnings. I think we're a hair's trigger away from
everybody's tired of
hell with this.
Everybody's tired of this bullshit.
Especially young people.
Yeah. Everybody's tired of it, man. And people are getting braver and braver now. People need to start standing up, and everybody became real scared, real fast for some reason. But, it felt like everybody was being attacked. But a lot of this comes from the media. The media started this whole thing. And what started to happen right now is the two most untrusted people right now in this country are politicians and the media.
Mm-hmm. For good reason, because both have been lying
100%.
for a long time. Yeah, by the way, I still don't think it's going to be Joe Biden who they're going to actually let run as the nominee. So I'm going to pick the guy who's actually created the People's Commonwealth of People's Republic of California. But that's not, one of the things I've seen is I went to New York City after the campaign. I thought I was going to go to New Hampshire, ended up after Iowa. Thought it was clear the right move would get behind Trump and move to the next phase. So instead of going to New Hampshire, I visited some friends and family in New York City. What I see is even a lot of my old friends who used to think in a very different way after COVID, after what you've seen in the wave of crime affecting places up and down from California to New York, I think their views have totally morphed actually in a different direction. I expected, I wasn't sure what to expect actually, because I used to live in Manhattan. You go back there after saying the things I've been saying for a year. I kid you not. We have people on the streets sticking their heads out of cars and driving through Central Park, cheering for me just because they're seeing me walk on the street, doormen into buildings, and they'll say, hey, listen up, I'm with you and I'm voting for Trump, but don't tell anybody. But I had about 10 people on the same day tell me the same thing. I said, you might as well be telling it to each other, because I've met 10 other people like you, from Uber drivers to doormen at buildings.
Same thing.
That say the same thing. Actually,
same thing happens to me.
And so it's a beautiful thing in this country.
Yeah.
Because people are hungry, they're afraid, but everybody's afraid at the same time. And if everybody just lets their guard down, we realize it's actually a majority of us that feel the same way.
That's why you just said to me, you feel it. You feel it changing and shifting. I feel it too, because everywhere I go, I get the same thing that you're saying.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Which makes you wonder about these polls we're seeing. I have a hunch, just like we saw in 2016, that there is a hidden Trump vote out there. The most important thing about what Vivek just said in that anecdote is that people will come up and say, hey, I'm with you, I'm voting for Trump. Just don't tell anybody. I just can't say anything about it. When we see these polls between Trump and Biden, I think you probably have to add another few points, maybe even up to 5 points for Trump, because people aren't saying anything. They're keeping their head down. They're not saying a damn thing. From a Republican perspective, it's quite possible that 2024 is going to make 2016 look like 1984.